Hello, hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia, and Marty, and we are Green Girl Studios, and this is our Sunday edition magic hour. Hello, friends. Yes, Morphing Designs. Hello, hello. Says, "Oops, time change." Yep, it did throw me off, but partly because I was busy digging around in my stash. So what we have are today. I'm going to show y'all some of the pieces that have been sitting. We have a couple of it's like backstock. I don't know if it's backstock, but there was a few of these bead blends that I was like, where did this come from? And it might have been a sample or might have been something that I was working on. I don't know, but I have a few of them that aren't labeled. And I couldn't figure out what it is, so I'm gonna sell them. So that'll be kind of fun. And we have some bronze. I have some bronze castings and some silver castings and some Shibu Ichi, which is a copper and silver alloy. If you don't know what that is, it's a fun alloy. Oh, hello, Nilda. Hello, Karen. Hello, Shannon. Hello, my friends. Happy sunny creative Sunday. Yeah, today was a really nice day. And it got a little bit cool. It just started to cool down. But I'm really enjoying that right now. It's 7 o'clock and the sun is still up. I hate it when it's dark at 5. It makes me feel, I don't like that feeling. I don't know why, I just don't. Hello, Pat. Hello, my friend. Hello. Azalea just sat down. And I was telling everybody that these I think are some of mine is what these are, like my scoops that I set out. And we found a few of them, and there's a couple of kits or bundles. I have some here. This one has mermaids
old
in it.
Ones. Those are
super old. Like what was this? Is before I was doing bead blends. It was like I counted out all those whatever was in there. Looks like Iolite and a bunch of things. Yay, more light. Yes, Shannon is definitely super excited for longer days. It's, I feel like I'm kind of like one of those, those kind of reptiles that need this sort of purplish light. You guys ever have like turtles or anything? Or is that just me? They had to have special lights. And I had two turtles, little man and big man. And in that tank that they lived in, I had to have this special purpley light. It was like I guess now it'd be considered a UV light. I don't know if it was, I'm not sure, niobium, I can't remember the name of it. It was a purpley colored, and it was really warm. So when if you reached in to grab a turtle, your hand felt like you just, put it in the sunshine. It was a really powerful light. And sometimes I feel like I need that light. But today was nice. Hello, Nancy. Okay, well, we had all the windows open, and I cleaned the house pretty hard. It was pretty good times. We had kind of a busy week. Oh, and then the best part that I nearly forgot to talk about, if you can believe it, our big news. So, hey, what's this cat doing? Sometimes we don't tell him what to do, and he wants to get on the table and wants to get on things, but I have to say, no, you can't get on the table. Even though he wants to. Sometimes I have to wipe it. Oh, hello, Stacy. Hello. So today we're going to show that when Azalea gets back. She's going to show after I'm done showing the lots. And I want to say this. So I had a small box of silver and Shibu Ichi that had already been priced. We made it probably I want to say like 5 or 6 months ago, before the big price increase. So I already bought the silver, and I kind of didn't know how to feel about this because it was already paid for. The labor was already done, and the price that we sold it at the time I was okay with, and I was happy with. And we thought, do we really want to redo all these price tags so that we can make a little bit more money on something that we bought it at the old price of silver? Just seemed kind of greedy. I don't know. But I'm not going to be able to do this for future. Like when I have to go buy silver again, then I'm gonna have to charge what I pay for that silver. But for right now, when it was 40 something, 42, that's what this is priced at. And I think that's okay. I don't need to like try to, you know. It was kind of funny. I had this conversation with a couple other metalsmiths, and we were all in kind of disagreement about this subject. Should you get the market value? If, and that was the thing. It's like you should mark it up. Everybody would say you just mark it up, but I didn't. So that's the one good thing on this, y'all. You'll get to buy it at the old price, and that's gonna be a good thing. I think there's no downside to that. Oh, that cat's looking for his treat. That's what he's after. Oh, and what else were we gonna do? Should I flip that camera around, or should I give that cat his treat right now?
I can do this first.
You want to do it first?
To keep with our usual formula.
No, the same formula. Okay, so
the demo to start.
Azalea would like to show. You may flip it.
Yeah, I can come over there.
Oh, Shannon says, "Yippee, lot sale day. You must have been reading my mind." Oh, maybe I was. Maybe it was in the universe. I was up in the studio, and boy, is it dusty. It's been in the wintertime since I don't know what's going on with that studio space, but it's cold in the winter and hot as Hades in the summer. And the time that it's good is spring and fall. And I went up there today to dig around and find some things. And I was like, there's so much stuff up here, and I got overwhelmed immediately. So I went downstairs. Oh, Morphing Design says, treat for Marty. And Stacy says, slow and steady wins the race, I always say. And it's, you know what? That's true. That's 100% true. Donna says, hello. I see you, Donna. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Oh, and Azalea, don't forget we have to announce the winners at the end of our stream tonight, because I have forgotten to go through for like 3 lives, I think. Oh, thank you. He's a very charming kitty. He's a good cat. Oh, Nancy says, I received my shell roses. They are beautiful. Yay, that makes me happy. Oh, I forgot to put on any earrings or jewelry. What happened? What happened today? Oh, and I keep forgetting my big news. So we went to the Emporium on Main on Thursday, I think, and basically brought the whole fam and got in there and met with our friend Connie. Connie Pasternak, Put a Beat on It, has a few spaces in the Emporium on Main in Hendersonville, and was like, listen, it's good. And I was like, I know it's good. I'll go check it out later. And I put it off. And then finally, when we went in there, it was awesome, because it used to be, I think a couple of years ago, the last time I was in there, I bought a silver chain, and it was a kind of like an antique store or antique mall. And it looks similar, but it's a lot different right now. Oh, Connie, I was just telling our good news. So we have a kiosk that we have in the front area, or the main area of the Emporium. I have a cabinet from IKEA that I'm going to set up. And then we have a space in the downstairs area, which is a pretty big space. It's like a whole wall, like almost like it looked to me, I didn't measure it, but it looked like almost like 2 booth spaces. When you say it was almost like 2 big booth spaces, but kind of narrow, kind of a long wall, not deep, but long. And we're going to be bringing things that we've collected. So any kind of bags that we've made, any jewelry, or actually we'll keep the jewelry probably upstairs, but downstairs will be like, I have a ton of art supplies. So I'm going to put a bunch of art supplies in that area, and other things that we've collected. So it's going to be good. Yarn bundles. Oh, 2.5 spaces. That's it. Thanks, Connie. I'm excited. It's going to be good. We had a space last, like a year and a half, right before Helene. For 2 years or so, we were at Art Garden in the River Arts District before all that kind of got, messed up. And we've been on the hunt. So ideally, we would love several spaces. We would love to have somewhere downtown. We were looking at Woolworth Walk. And we're also looking at Marquee, but right now Marquee is pretty jam packed. It's like 500 vendors or something crazy in there. Connie says, "Me too." Pamela says, "That's awesome, Cynthia. Hope you find great success with that." We did really good with our little. We had a little 4.5 or 3.5 foot space at Art Garden, and we had paper dolls and prints, and people. We could just tell people it was really convenient. Hey, if you're in that area, just go by and pick up some paper dolls for your friends or whatever. And it worked out really well for us. Since we go to Gem Club, and that's right, like 4 doors down from the Emporium, that to me seemed like really convenient. And there was this tea shop, and Azalea, when she walked in, she immediately left it. I could tell by her face that she was like, "This is my vibe. I can't wait to come and work." And the best part is it's like a co-op. So the vendors are kind of like, they're kind of in charge. And I was like, what? Like, you work 8 hours or so every month, and help with keep watching the booth spaces and tidying and shipping and everything. So it's really exciting. I'm really happy that we found this space, and we'll be setting up. We'll be setting up soon. I just have to do some booth design and finish up some paperwork, and then we'll be ready. So we'll give you more information and probably a tour. I can't wait, and I don't know how well how we can do it, how the internet is out there, but we're going to try and do some live streams out there. So
it seemed pretty decent because we're not out in the middle of nowhere. When I was checking my notifications in the tea shop, at least it was fast. So I think it's a possibility for sure.
There's a really cute tea shop, and I was like, I would love to have, a group of friends come in and say we get together, and I'm going to start adjusting this camera for Azalea's little tutorial. She wants to share this. And have a beading party, and then have it at the tea room, and then you get tea. And
we need this.
Oh yeah, what did I do with all those lights? I did something with them. I rearranged in here. Our friends Brandy came over last night, and Farron came over, and we just had a little get together. Greg made Indian food, and it was so fun. Just chit chatting and hanging out. All right, let me see. Where is this camera? All right, I'm gonna do this. Sorry for a second here. I'll organize this. Don't make that cat mad, you.
He didn't even get a treat.
Oh man. Okay, there's the lights. We're in business. Yeah, someday I'm going to figure out how to hook everything up. Shannon says, tea shop is a sweet bonus. That'd be my jam. It looks so really cute. It's so cute. River says, I wish you weren't an 8-hour drive away. Oh, that sounds sad. I wish you weren't too. But if you ever decide to visit Asheville, then we have some suggestions. And it'd be fun, like having a nice get together at a tea shop. All right, let's these are some things that Azalea has in her shop. Where's that other one?
Which one?
There's another bracelet. I was going to show it.
This one's on my Depop. That one I have to list. That pink and green one.
Isn't that pretty? This is a really pretty.
The most recent show with Arboretum. So they've not been on the internet yet.
Yeah, I like that color. So these are on Azalea's Depop. I think she can share that at some point.
I can probably do it later after the lot sale if everybody's interested.
All right, let me trade with you, and you can get in there.
Here's my magic bead tray with all of my projects and whatnot. I'll move it down this way a little bit.
Looks good.
Thanks. All my stuff. Yeah, Connie saw it when she's here, and every time anybody says anything about it, I go through and I'm like, oh, here's all 15 of my current projects. This one's my current loom project because I finished. Actually, let me show it. Connie, if you're watching, this might delight you. I finished this.
Beautiful
and I'm
work.
really pleased with it because it's like, all the color variation in the different sections. I love a stained glass bracelet. The other one that you traded in, Connie, I put on my Depop today. So hopefully that
show comparison of the length.
Oh yeah, let me. Sorry, I can't reach it from here.
I get it.
There we go. So this was
Are
the one
these all
that.
on there?
No, not yet. Those are all ones that I made for the show. So this was the one that Connie bought. And then it was, I make them kind of short because I don't like it when they close super close together like this. And then you have a lot of chain dangling. So I try to make them where they're like, the less chain, the better. So this was one she got, and then I remade it for her. So it was a little bit longer. So it was a little more comfortable fit for her. But I'm really pleased with it because I was able to, keep the design pretty similar, but extend it so I wasn't just adding blocks of black to either end because that's boring. But yeah, anyway. I've got a lot of stuff going on my bead tray. I'm not going to do this today because I feel like a lot of people know how to do, bead weaving so far, but this is something else I'm going to do for my Depop. I made this a while ago. I thought about making like a really gothic necklace to wear, but then, I never made it like a necklace part, so I was thinking about giving it to Alex because he's actually Catholic. There's just a bunch of stuff on my bead tray. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show something I showed like 3 years ago, which is doing peyote stitch around a cabochon. So when we did it was some bead show in Pennsylvania in like 2020. So yeah, we did Bead Fest, and our neighbor, this lady named Joanne, taught me how to do this because a lot of the stuff on her table, she was selling like purses with beadwork on it. So she taught me how to do this during the downtime. So I found this cabochon upstairs. Mom said I can use it. It's like one of those like mood color changing. And this is just a cheap piece of felt. She taught me how to do it on like this really fancy, super thick interfacing. But this is like 50-cent, maybe even like 20-cent pieces of felt from the craft store. So I glued it onto the corner here, and now I'm just going to trim it down to a more manageable size. And I glued it down, by the way, with a blob of E6000. And then I let it dry for a few minutes before getting into it. You can hear that cat eating so hard behind me right now.
I just gave him a little scoop just so he would feel happy.
All right. So I have a bead needle, and then I have some, where did I put them? Oh, here we go. I'm using size 11/0 rounds, but I feel like delicas would probably really be good for these. But I have this kind of like gold color from Joanne Chan, our friend in town, not the other Joanne. But we went to her little yard sale the other day, and I got some beads from her, and that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
These are from there, and also one of my prize of these dark, like midnight blue that I'm also going to use. I've been really into this color combo lately.
Listen, you guys want to see the prize I got from Joanne?
Dark blue and gold. It's so good.
I got these from Joanne. They're shell, and look at this. They look like little teeth, but they're little tiny boxes. Isn't it so cool? I thought they were beads, but they open up. This one, I don't know if that opens up. Oh, that one did. Isn't that cool? I'm going to put a tooth, or I have one with a tooth. I have one with Marty's tooth in it.
Oh. All right. Oh, Karen says, looks like stained glass. Yeah, that was my inspiration when I made these. I listed them, and I called it my cathedral collection instead of just saying stained glass. I don't know. It's just the first thing that came to me when I was thinking about it. But you guys should see how this looks under a light. Since all of them are like, they're not really opaque beads. Like they have like the silver inside, so they're kind of translucent a little bit. But they're super nice. They're so satisfying to wear. I was thinking about making, our friend Jamie recommended that I use this kind of pattern and colorway with brick stitch earrings, so then you can really catch the light with them. So I was thinking that'd be a good idea. All right, sleeves are rolled up.
Yeah, maybe we can do that next week. Or something with brick stitch. Jamie made some really cool earrings with brick stitch.
I need to get to stop focus. There's like so much stuff to focus on in the background. Here we go. All right. Oh, thank you, Anne. She says, you are so talented. Thanks. I love making stuff. I'm taking full advantage of my situation here at Green Girl. And, it sounds kind of a weird way to say it, but I'm taking full advantage. So then I can kind of, like my job is pretty easy, filling orders, and it's fun. Filling orders is so fun. But when I'm not filling orders and I don't need, my dad doesn't need my help downstairs, I want to, use it to my advantage of, my situation. And, my mom lets me use her beads and my time that I get to spend making this stuff to go and list on my store. So I have one of these beading needles that opens in the middle. I have a whole tube of these. I don't even know where I got them, but they're my favorite because I don't even bother. Oh, yeah, show those.
That's what our friend Jamie made these with what's a brick stitch. This is her pattern. It's supposed to be like little plants on a You know, like kind of like macrame plants. Those cute.
They are cute. I need to learn how to do it because I have not made anything successful in brick stitch yet, but I'm thinking about it. I have ideas. I have plenty of ideas, but knowing how to do it sometimes, I need to go on YouTube again.
Just
Okay.
have Jamie come and do
I
it
know.
live
Like,
and
hey,
show
Jamie,
it.
do you want to show me how to do this? All right, so I'm not going to use a stopper bead because, I don't feel like going to find one. So on the bottom of my work here, I'm going to go and stick. Oh, yeah, by the way, I was talking. I don't even bother with those beading needles that have the super duper tiny hole at the end. I know sometimes you need those, like with super tiny, tiny beads. But for 11Os, these big hole beads, I mean, dude, I need this to just autofocus on my hands and on the needle and not the pretty gemstones in the back or beads or whatever. Okay, hold on. Sorry.
Spots.
Crammed in everywhere. Okay. So I have a line of beading thread on here, and I'm going to stick it up from the bottom at the kind of the edge of my cabochon. And you know what? I feel like a lot of people know how to do this, but I'm gonna just do it anyway because it's fun and give my mom a break because she's all the time doing the demo. So I stick it up through the bottom near the edge, leave a little bit of a tail, because that's where we're gonna tie the knot. And all of this can be secured with a little bit of glue later because this is mostly like when you bead around it, it looks really, really good when you bead it separately, and then you can put it on one of those leather, like those really wide bracelets. What are those called? Cuff bracelets. And then you don't have to do like an entire beaded one. You can just bead right here. So I'm going to go back down again. This is probably not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Is this, would you say, the same technique that Kinga uses?
Maybe. I haven't inspected her stuff close enough. She's like pro level. I am just messing around.
So this is called bead embroidery.
It's peyote around a cabochon. I don't know if there's a particular term for that, but so far I just have done these two things. I made a tiny little stitch right there just to start my knot because I didn't want to put any beads yet if it's not secured. So I'm just going to do a classic, kind of what is it called, a square knot. You just tie it, secure it, just to get it where you have a strong base where it's not going to come undone super easily. But that's good enough. So now I'm pretty sure, I'm almost sure, but I might be wrong, that the best way to start a peyote, like the easiest, is to do even count. Let me scroll down. The mouse is all the way over here now, so I can make sure the comments I'm keeping up. Okay. Yeah, even count. So I'm going to start with a row of these gold size 11/0 rounds. They're probably Miyuki's, but I'm not entirely sure because the tube was not labeled when I got them from Joanne. But I'm going to come back up again at the edge of the cabochon. And then I'm going to string 2 because we want this to be consistently even throughout the whole thing, but we don't want any of them to be like loose. So we don't want to string like 4 or 6 because that's too big of a gap. So I'm going to string 2. Let's see where that'll land. That'll be like, this far away. So we'll just go in. And the fortunate thing about these kinds of needles is that since they're so easy to thread, if you mess up, you can just pull the string out of your needle and then put it, like you can easily thread it again if you make a mistake. So there we go, 2 beads down, and then we'll come up again. And I'd like to do this back stitch style. So instead of coming back up right here where we just inserted, I'm going to come ahead visualizing 2 beads ahead. So there's a little bit of a gap between my beads and my needle because I'm going to go back. So we're basically doing a back stitch that's going like this around the whole thing. And that's like really sturdy. So you don't want your base row is the most important because it's going to be obviously the base for the rest of your beadwork, and you don't want that to be loose even a little bit. Getting this to stay in focus is kind of challenging because I move my hands a lot.
You lock your arm.
I know, but I'll lock my arm here. Okay, there we go. So another 2 beads, and I like using size 11s the most. I mean, doesn't everybody because they're not too small, but they're also they're really easy. They're just easy to work with, easier to see. I tried to do some projects with some size 15s. Like last night, I was trying to do a kind of a heart shape around these. These came in a kit back at the same show I was talking about earlier. I got them from this lady, and I could not.
Was it part of this?
No, that was actually that was a completely different kit. This was this Rivoli was from an extra in a kit. Or actually, I was making this necklace, and I wanted it to be a choker, so I left out one of the links, and then I used this instead for this cross. I actually saw it first on Pinterest and tracked it down to an Etsy listing in Italian.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I had translated it on Google or whatever, and then I was able to make that work, but it took me a minute to find it. All right, so this part's a little bit more time consuming than every other part because it's just going in and out and you're doing a back stitch, but I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to do the first row in gold and then the second row maybe in this dark blue because that's been my favorite color combo lately. Oh, man, I just strung some and didn't come back up again. It's okay if there's a little bit of a gap. Like if there's a gap between your beads right here, that's fine because the peyote stitch is going to probably cover that up anyway. But
Pam says it's a cool cab.
Oh, thanks. I just found it upstairs on the table. Like it was just in a tray, and I was like, all right, let's see if this works. Because my other cabochons are like tourmaline and ruby, and I would really, really rather have the super fancy cabs go into like something that I carve and wax and then cast a setting for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could use, they make those beads where they have gold lining the inside.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any of those, but I heard someone talking about them. Maybe Jill Wiseman. Maybe she, because she's really
masterful,
good at doing beadwork. But we know a lot of people that have skills with beads. It's one of the perks of being in this business.
Okay, look. Oh my goodness! I just flicked a bead into my own eye.
Wow, you need to put on safety glasses.
I know. This part is kind of hard to do the beads when they're kind of far away. I can probably
get them a little closer.
All right, sorry. I'm not, you guys, my mom's the one always on camera. I'm kind of not used to it so much.
You're doing good.
Thanks.
You're doing real good.
Well, I was thinking about, I strung 3. Bro, what am I doing today? I'm messing up. But this is the perk. Make a mistake. You can just, pull that right off your needle. Hold on.
You can.
You can.
It's not like brioche stitch where it's a big production.
Brioche stitch, bro. That's like the only knitting thing that I have never been able to figure out is brioche.
And to be fair, you really didn't spend that much time on it.
No, I got rage baited bad with that pattern that I got. I just bent my needle kind of bad. But you know what? I have more. This happens. This is everyday occurrence. Actually, no, it's not. I'm actually pretty good about keeping my needles good. I'm going to get another one out of this tube.
I got a pattern.
Long one or a short one? This short one should be good. This long one back in there. Whenever we go to those shows, there's always somebody selling like really beautiful, like they had pallets of cabochons. And I always look at them. We don't do a lot with cabochons in this business. Like in Green Girl, we're mostly about beads and gemstones. But I see the cabochons and did I just string this without undoing my mistake, bro? I'm like, get silly goofy today. All right. Fixed. But there we go. I don't have to get a needle threader for this. Just open it.
Very nice.
I know, it's awesome. It's the only type of beading needle I'll use now if I can get away with it. Sometimes it does demand that you use one of the single eye or the small eyes, and that's like, okay.
Connie says, I'm so glad you're doing this, Azalea. I've admired this cab design, but didn't know how to get started.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay, good.
It can be, and that's nice that you're showing up front what to do if you have a mistake.
Yeah, I'm mistake central, bro.
Well,
Perfect.
That's how, like, each time you make something, you're going to get better and better.
Oh, thanks. It's actually been a minute since I've done this, but I actually got reminded of cabochons today because I was on my Pinterest. It's all knitting and beadwork stuff and costumes, like historical costumes, and that's why I love it way more than Instagram, because Instagram shows me distressing things and Pinterest shows me pretty things.
My Instagram shows me hilarious comedians and cat videos, or some kind of animal I didn't even know existed, like a tree climbing kangaroo. I didn't know that was a real creature.
Sorry, I'm getting out of frame.
But here we are.
It's focusing.
Hey, I like it with the gold. You could just stick with a palette of gold around the base, so it's almost like it's almost like a visually like a filigree in gold.
That's a good idea. That's what I was thinking, because dark blue and gold is probably one of my favorite color combos right now. And
you've been interested in that blend.
Well, it's because I'm getting into like the kind of 90s, like the pop of celestial designs. And what's annoying about that is that I like it so much, and then now so does everybody else at the same time. So if I see it online, people find it at estate sales, the same ones I'm probably going to, but they're probably getting there at 3 o'clock in the morning instead of us rolling in at noon. And not anymore, but yeah, they get it, and then they're like, "Oh, I got this for $4," and everybody likes celestial stuff right now. Let's put it at $6.50. It's like, if you're one of those folk, dog, you're not my hero, that's for sure. But anyway, I love that color combo. So I've been making my own celestial stuff because I cannot afford to go and put down $650 for a sun moon phase candle holder. So I'm going
Who would
to
do that anyway?
sculpt one myself out of clay that I made from glue and cornstarch. We're going trash into treasure, and hopefully not treasure into trash. That's what I'm hoping for this cabochon today, because this feels like treasure. Let's hope it doesn't become trash in a few minutes when I'm working on it and have to go off screen to go take this apart. But you know what? This kind of thing, peyote, is fun, especially this kind where you're just stitching onto it. You have a lot of freedom. That's why some of these stitches are a little bit jank, like they're not perfectly round. And also, if I was using delicas, these would sit way nicer and they'd be way smoother. So if you do want to do this and you don't have beads that you already want to use, if you're going to go and shop for them, then maybe look for delicas, specifically size 11 delicas, and then any sort of beading thread, because I'm using this kind of dark red because I like how it looks with the gold and the blue together. But if I'm being honest, you can't see it that much with this kind of stitching, because this first row is barely even going to be visible later unless you turn it to look at it like that. And when are you going to be doing that? The top layer is the part that's important. But here we go. Not making the same mistake again. I have to lock in, stop talking. Well, yeah. Yeah, I always find a cabochon at one of those shows that I want, and then I look at it and I'm like, oh, I want that real bad. Like I have a citrine that's like the most gemmy, delicious, gelatinous. It doesn't even look real. Like citrine teardrop cabochon ever, and that was like 2 years ago that I got that. I still haven't used it. So if you have cabochons you're sitting on and you don't have, the ability, or you're not in the position to do any sort of casting for those cabochons, this is something that you can do with it. And I know earlier I said like I didn't want to use my ruby and sapphires and tourmaline for it, but that it would be fine if you did. But it's best when it has a perfectly flat back cabochon, nothing that's like slightly domed. Then it's kind of like, okay, it's going to have a curve on your beadwork and it's going to be kind of awkwardly shaped. But maybe you could take a piece of clay or something to fill out the edges before you start doing beadwork.
Shannon says, I currently have an obscene amount of bead embroidery books checked out from the library.
Ooh, yeah, I used to do that too. I used to go to the library way more often, and I would get craft books and like knitting books I would find there. And any type of pattern that I would want to do for later, I would take pictures out of it and save it for later. Or I would challenge myself to find a small project and see if I could finish it before I turn it back in.
Jeanette says, I've been doing bead weaving for over a decade. Love peyote and brick stitch, but have never tried bead embroidery. Keep thinking I should, but just never do it. Maybe you will inspire me to do it. Connie says, your instructions are so clear. Great teaching.
Oh, thanks.
And Julie says, love delicas. We did get a book. I don't think it's peyote. It's what is that bead weaving book that I really like? That I recommend it because it has a lot of good. I'm looking for it on the shelf. That bead weaving, or it's not bead weaving.
All right. So we've made full round. You can see some gaps here and there, but when you start doing the peyote, it kind of binds everything together, and so you don't have to worry about it that much. But since I did it only in groups of 2, then I can be absolutely positive that this is even count. So if I'm correct about this, which I might not be, which in that case, if I'm wrong about it being even count, then all I have to do is go to one of these gaps and put an extra bead and then make it odd count. But I'm like 99% sure that even count peyote is the easiest one, because I don't think you have to do any sort of like up and down gymnastics to add another bead, which I think you do have to do sometime. So I just did my last row, or not last row, my last set. And I'm going to come back up, not from here where I just put my needle, but from the other side of that last set right there. So this is right where I began, and pull it nice and tight. And sometimes if I'm positive about my amount of stitches or my amount of beads to start with, I'll do a couple stitches discreetly right here up and down. Like I'll do this, tuck it in real, if I can get it to focus, like just tuck it in right underneath the stone to just secure it a little bit. And then come back up and get ready for our round 2, which is way more fun, if I'm being honest, because then that's when you do the actual peyote stitch and not just stitching down the beads around it. But there you go. There's that dark blue purple paired with the gold. So then I might actually skip this dark blue. But it looks like it would be pretty together, but then also it's almost the same color. So I might set those aside for now and just stick with these gold. Come right here. All right.
You could always do another color of gold.
Maybe
or a
so,
size
yeah.
of gold.
Come back up. All right, so now that I've done my base row, I'm going to insert that last bead that I put down. And I'm going to go through this here so I can get in the right position to start bead weaving, and not, if you start from coming directly out of the felt, then it's not going to sit on top of the next beads. Let me get close. Hold on.
You have to have everything else out of the way.
I know. So I have to hold myself at the perfect spot to get it to.
The only thing is it'll change. That's why you have to remove everything out of the background.
Yeah. So I just went up and down and up back through my last bead that I put on. So now I've made a couple stitches, and now I'm ready to actually do peyote stitch. So now that I'm coming out of this bead, I'm going to just string one, and then I'm going to skip this next one, the one in front of it, and I'm going to go into the next one. And that's the whole. That's why peyote is so easy, and you can kind of do it mindlessly. So all you have to know is that you string one bead and skip one bead. So now we can already see that bead that we just strung is sitting on top of one. And then now we're going through the one next to it. And we're going to do that again. We're going to go around, string one bead, and then skip this one and go through the next one. So this one's kind of tricky since all the beads are pressed kind of, since I wanted this to be tight because I didn't want any loose tooth beads. But that's why this first row of peyote stitch is a little bit tricky, because all of the beads are very tightly stitched down to this felt. But yeah, well, this is the pattern for pretty much the rest of the project until you're pleased with it, is pick up a bead and skip a bead and go through the next one and pull it nice and tight. But sometimes if you pull it a little too tight near the later ones, you can end up making it can get brittle and it can break. So don't pull it so hard that, it starts to bow in on itself. But,
you want to have a little bit of flexibility, because if it's in there where the string is too tight, it's just like with wire work. You don't want anything to have, so if it gets dinged, your beads aren't breaking or your thread doesn't break. It's the same principle.
Mind the frame.
Yeah, it looks good.
So it's starting to build up a foundation. And so after this row, you'll have all of these beads that are going to be sticking up like they're ready for a bead to sit between them. And that's why it's so satisfying, because it'll then sit perfectly on top of each other. And that's another reason why I recommend delicas, because they're perfectly machined. Sometimes with these rounds, they have they're very charming looking, like they're more gemmy than delicas. But at the same time, they don't sit as neatly and perfectly as a delica.
They're like little tiny tiles.
Yeah, delicas are fun to do. Like this right here. Here's some peyote stitch with something similar to delicas, except they're squares instead of cylinders.
Yeah, that makes a good texture.
And see how they lay so perfectly flat against each other. Some of them are like, these are old, so they're kind of a little bit, some parts are a little uneven right here, like a little chip, but most of it is pretty perfectly flat. You know what? I am kind of sad that I lost that one Tila bracelet that I made. I have no idea where I put it, but it was the most liquid bracelet I've ever made in my life. It's so perfect.
I'm a big fan of Tila's.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was I made a classic Tila herringbone bracelet, and I don't remember where I put it.
Was it like Alice's?
Yeah, it was just. I don't remember which one you got from her, but it was.
It was a Tila with two beads between in like a tesseract pattern or tessellated pattern.
Maybe then I don't remember. Because I remember you got that for yourself, and I looked briefly. That was like 2 years ago now. The part that's kind of annoying about having all this extra felt is that my beanie needle wants to go through it. But yeah, if you're shopping for it and you decide that you want to do it, if you want to make it like super duper perfect, then yeah, perfectly flat cabochon, size 11 delicas, and then this really kind of thick felt interfacing. I'm pretty sure it's a type of interfacing, and it's got a felty texture. This is super cheap, flimsy felt, but it still will, do the job, because, when I'm done, of course, I'm going to trim all of this off and probably do a little bit of E6000 or fray check around the bottom edge to make sure that this is not getting like, fluffy, linty looking. But this is the part that kind of is a little bit time consuming, because you just have to go around and you have to be kind of tender with it and make sure that it's coming up straight and you're pulling all of it right and you're stringing the right amount of beads. But it's going to be really satisfying. I'm holding it. I feel like I'm never in focus, but I think I'm describing it well enough that you guys know what's going on. But I'm also almost positive that most people know how to do this, or at least most of y'all in here, because you guys are really good at all sorts of stuff.
Sometimes
Not
it's nice to have a
beginners.
refresher.
Yeah, I mean, this is my refresher because I haven't done this in a minute, but it's working out so far. I'm moving a little bit faster. I'm cooking with gas now, but it's all about looking up and making sure I'm in focus. And if somebody asks a question or comments something, easy to get distracted. We're almost done with this second row, and then then the peyote stitch really flows quickly because all of your second row of beads are like, they sit on top, and then you don't have to go and dig down with your needle into that first row. You can just slide them in there real easy style. Okay. I'm wondering about making this into like one of those cuff bracelets. Okay, where am I? This is supposed to be sitting. This bead was the first bead, and that's supposed to be sitting on top. So now what I'm going to do is go, instead of down into here, because you don't have a bead to skip. Let me get up in there. We'll see how close I can get. Let me see if I can get it to focus here.
And then move the needle, hold the beads that you want, and I'll take that tray because that's what's going to always keep getting in there.
It even does it to you. I mean, it focuses on your background when you got nothing going on. So right here was our very first bead that we put up, and then it doesn't have a bead that we can skip. So this is where it comes in, where our attention can start to really bind everything together. We're going to go and skip this bead and go into the one on the second row, and we're no longer going to pay any attention to the first row. Now we're solely beading into the second row of all the beads that are sticking up like little teeth. So we're going to go into that one instead. And it looks loose, but this is when you have to start kind of pulling it a little bit tighter to make sure that the tension's right. So you can see your threads in a couple places, but that kind of disappears after a minute of just, because you're slowly going to be moving up over the top of the cab, and then it's going to be closing in on itself, and you won't be able to see any of the loose spots. So now, another bead. This is the one that's sticking up, so we don't have to pay attention to this row anymore. We go into this one that's jutting out. And see how perfectly it lays on top of itself. Nice. So I've seen people do things differently when they have to decrease over the top of the cab. Some people I've seen, so this one is supposed to be sitting, this part's a little bit, having to see which one, because sometimes they want to slide between each other instead of on top. So that's supposed to go right there. But some people, when they want to decrease over the top of the cab, they'll either start skipping beads or they'll start doing peyote with size 15s. Which are, the little smaller ones that'll make it, when you pull those tight, it does, of course, make it smaller. So I think I'm going to try that because I don't like too many gappiness. If I'm going to have a gap at the base, at least I can make the top part more tight. So I'm not going to do any skip decreases.
Gumnut says it's called a step up.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the name. The
jutting out, because I'm like the one that's jutting out.
The
step.
Tooth. Yeah, it's like laying, if you're going to do stonework or like mosaic.
Yeah, it reminds me, like the way that peyote wants to sit does remind me of like stonework. Am I in the right spot here? Which one is this supposed to be?
I think the hardest part of beadwork is starting it. I feel like it's true of bead crochet. Starting it, it looks kind of like a mess. And then once you get like a 1/4 of an inch up, then it starts to look like not like a flat balloon.
Yeah, it starts to, work together.
You're seeing the structure come together.
Yeah, see how when I do that, it looked kind of offset, and now it's lining up perfectly. It's making a good structure. So you can see on the edge of the cabochon right here that it's starting to get a little bit taller than the edge. So we're going to probably finish this row, and then since this is a more flat cabochon, we can probably do one more and then do a row with the 15-0s to finish it off. And that's why I love kind of a shallow flat cabochon, because you don't have to do it for a super long time.
Well, we still have to do this.
The lot sale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this
I'm
is my
saying,
demo.
Okay, just letting you know.
Yeah, this part, because they want to slide. Since I had a little bit of gappiness on my first row, they want to slide in between. So that's the part that's difficult, at least with this type of beadwork, is that if you have it too tight, it can get brittle. And if you have it too loose, then your second and third row can want to sit in between. But if you know what you're looking at, like probably most of you do with peyote stitch, as long as it looks right and it's like structured, you're probably doing the right thing. But fortunately, this kind of, it's not too difficult to undo. Unless you have to go and get one of those super tiny eye needles, and then you have to go and get a threader every time, which I used to do all the time. Pain.
Shannon says, timely demo. I just ordered a bunch of ultra suede buttons and beads from Bead Shop yesterday. And Julie says, that's beautiful, Azalea. Jeanette says,
thanks.
I love delicate beads. And Nancy says, I love watching this.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you guys are not bored with me talking about it.
Well, it's nice to get to do a
Hands are
different
trembly.
style of beadwork. I found a couple books on the shelf that are some of my favorites on beadwork. I'll show them in a little bit. Did you see this one?
Which one? Yeah, I love that book.
I didn't know you knew that book.
You know what? I saw that the other day at Mr. K's when I went with Alex and Max, and right next to it was Candy's book.
Oh, Candy.
And it was cool. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys look. And of course, Max was like, huh? And I was like, Candy.
I was like, those are our friends.
Stuff. Yeah. It's cute. All right. We're coming up to almost done with this third row here.
It's pretty fast. I mean, considering that if talking and doing a craft and doing demonstrating, it kind of slows the process down.
I hope you guys can see it because my screen is
I'm watching it. I'm watching how you're doing it. Looks good.
Thanks. Now it's really going to be easy because all of the step-ups are super obvious. So there's no more room for them to sink in between any other beads. Now this one's going to go like a breeze because all of them are stepping up super tall and they're sitting right where they need to be sitting. So it's going to be perfect.
Nancy says, gorgeous, Azalea, and you are a great teacher. I think so.
Oh, thanks.
Carolyn says, I like watching. Haven't tried doing peyote or other stitches, but I used to make a lot of things on a bead loom. I think a bead loom is a good, solid place to do beadwork. You don't have to count anything.
Look how pretty that is. Blue and gold, man. Can't.
And then sometimes it'll be pink. You'll get pink in there too when it gets really warm, I think. And then Connie says, can there be a part 2 to see how you complete it into a bracelet? I think that would be a great idea.
Where's Kinga's bracelet so we can actually show some of her stuff?
You can so you don't have to stick with one type of fabric. So that's just the base. The felt is the base.
This part is not even going to be visible unless you flip it over when we're done with it. It's just a cheap base, which is why I said, like cheapo felt, you'll get this little square out of it. It's easier to hold because you don't want to be gripping it super close and having a hard time, but you don't want to have to cut a big old piece out of some fancy, expensive interfacing. So I'm like, okay, this is pretty close and it's not supposed to be in there for a long time. So it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, it works. You can use leather to put it on, to mount it to. So here's our friend Kinga made this, and she used velvet. There's silk velvet for the body to make it fuzzy. There's silk for the wings. There's purple metallic leather, very thin. It's like glove leather, and then it's lined in another leather. So you can where's the camera? There's a lot of choices as far as
see
what
right there.
you can.
She did peyote stitch around this Rivoli.
Yeah, go in there and tie it. I can't see it to do it. Go tight so they can see that the exact technique that you're doing is miniature beads there. Those are like size.
These are probably
15s or 16.
These are probably size 15 delicas, or they're like trapezoid, or not trapezoid. They're probably hexagon.
They're like faceted.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, that's pretty close. You can see it right there.
Kinga has a lot of classes.
I'm probably
if you guys are interested, her name on Facebook, and it's Crimson Frog Designs, and she has her Facebook is Kinga Bledsoe, and you can look at her work. She's a really nice lady, makes beautiful work.
So yeah, now when I pull tight around this next row, you can see whenever I pull it, it's starting to curve over the cab.
Cupping it and closing the bezel. You're closing the bezel.
You can see it's starting to curve. And then that's when I'm done with this row, I'm going to do the 15 O's because then I can make it close because you don't have to, since this is It's going to be kind of curved over it about, I don't know, 3/4 of a centimeter over the cab. Sorry, I'm far away from the camera. And it's glued down. There's very slim chance that it's going to come undone. So I never ever pity stitch until it's like this much of the stone showing.
Wow.
I always give it because I've seen that. I've seen people do that. Maybe because they're worried it's going to pop out, which is fair. Maybe for using some.
You've got E6000 in there.
Yeah, the E6000. Like, look, I'm going to do this.
It's not coming out.
And it's not coming out, so it's going to be fine. Especially if
you just need to go like as long
two.
as you go over the wherever the curve goes inward, like when it begins to curve inward, then it's kind of like locked into place. It's hard. This is also true. Say if you're doing wire work. Now I've done a similar thing, but I've done it with silver beads and silver wire, and I did not use, like, it was woven but more lacy and open because you can't get too tight with wire. And Nancy says, what size needle goes through a 15? The smallest one in town.
We're about to find out if this will go through, because in a second
okay,
now,
let's see it.
All right, let me see. I have to finish this last little row of 11 O's.
Oh, Connie says that bracelet is so beautiful. Thank you. Kinga gave it to me for a present. Nancy says faux suede is nice too. Yes, that's a good one because then, you don't, sometimes I feel like it actually holds up, because sometimes I feel like I've had leather that has degraded when it's gotten wet. And, that doesn't really happen with the faux suede, thankfully.
Okay. So right here where my thread is, you can see that's where the row starts. So I'm going to go probably 3 more 11 O's, and then we can switch to 15 O's and see if those will work. And that's probably why a lot of people have to use those tiny eye needles that I complain about so bitterly, because those will fit.
Well, they have a small hole.
Exactly.
That's the struggle when you use anything. Small beads, even though they can be a nuisance, they have a look that just cannot be replaced.
I like small beads. I just don't like those needles because I have to have a needle threader to get them in there.
You know what I liked to do in the 90s that was really popular are these beads they called them beaded beads. And it was kind of where you just...
bead around a wooden bead?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that, and I want to know how to do that because I love that story. That is so cool.
Maybe we can do it because it's really... I remember there was like 3 different ways you can do it. And there was one way that I wonder if the Softflex guys remember this. They had their table next to me at one of my very first bead shows in Denver. And it was the time I arrived to the show.
It fits. Yes. Yes. I got it to work. Excellent.
Karen says size 10 or 12 needles work for 15 O's.
Perfect.
Yeah, although it looks like that's working. I don't know what size that big eye needle is.
Yeah. So since I didn't go up super tall on these and I'm already starting to decrease, I think, maybe off screen, I'll finish this row of 15s, and then Mom can talk about some of the other stuff that we have to sell. And then while she's talking, I'll do like maybe 1 or 2 more rows of the 15s since they don't add much height.
Oh, that's right.
It'll be gripping it harder.
Shannon says Kate has done freeform peyote around wood beads. I love those. Yeah. That was one of we did those the last time we did a takeover day. Do you remember that? It was like we were at Kate's shop. It was before the retreat. So that was actually like 2 years ago, but we did a fun project with those 90s peyote beads. Those were so fun. Because it's kind of like you could do whatever you feel like.
I like those. I've been getting a lot of those on my Pinterest show up lately. Oh, they're really, really pretty. I want to do some I love purple and blue and gold lately. Like purple and silver, purple and gold, I think purple and blue look really good with like metallics, and that's just been my flavor. I've been, making stuff that color. I Like I almost used this tonight instead of the gold when I decided, oh, it's too close of a color. It's like exactly the same. But this is like a mix of 11-0 rounds that I put together for my other seed bead bracelets. Like my sun, moon, and star ones, I used a mix because some of these are like, you can see like the light blue or the check jelly, and then you have some just regular Miyukis, and then some matte kind of, iridescent. I did a nice mix. So, those are not always the best for some like super duper, like if you're trying to make your beadwork look ultra perfect and uniform, and you don't really use a lot of different varying beads. But I never make anything like that because I think perfect and uniform is overrated.
Nancy says, do Delicas have larger holes compared to their size? I kind of feel like they're machined and perfect.
Jamie said yes. Jamie used to work at Chevron, didn't she? And then she was doing a lot of beadwork.
At beadwork.
Yeah, Jamie's really, really good. I love the stuff that she makes, and she told me that it's Delicas are easier to do with like peyote and freeform peyote because they have the really big holes, and and also loom work too because you can pass through multiple times.
Yeah, you can see here if you look at these, look, the hole is pretty small compared to the bead size.
Yeah. So with peyote, you need it to go through at least 2 times, for it to work. All right, I'm almost done. It's looking good though. No fails. Yeah, I didn't have to undo it really. I didn't have to undo anything crazy. So you can see near the edges it wants to fold in more because it's more shallow on the ends. But it is gripping it. See that? That's really pretty. And I'm thinking maybe if I feel like it, when I'm done with this row of 15-0s, I might do picos right here on the edges because those are like 15-0 picos. So it'd be really cute. I'm kind of far. I always feel like it's close to my face, but not close enough to the camera. But yeah, now that I'm pulling it tight, just using 15-0s is making it cup around it really pretty. Perfect.
Good job.
Thanks.
You know what would be good to make a beaded bead? What if we did, how we had those really cool resin beads that we were making? They were round, but the tops were kind of chewed up looking because of where the mold opening. If you did freeform beadwork around the top, then you wouldn't have to worry about like sanding the edge of the bead.
I actually looked for that first because I used to play with the UV resin a lot. I would make cabochons. And all of my cabochons that I had made, I had already put them on something, but I was thinking about doing that before I grabbed this. I was thinking, oh, well, you know what?
Those are so fun to make. We love having UV resin out because it's like one of the most ultra, one of those instant gratification projects. So maybe we can make cabs later. That would be a fun one.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right. I'm only you can see where I put my first 15-0 right here. So I'm almost done with the round. Probably getting tired of watching me do this, but.
No, it looks good. We are almost ready to do, we're at about the hour mark. So we're going to race through.
Dang, that's how long I've been doing this already that long. I don't understand why you feel that way whenever we're going live. And you're like, it's been an hour already?
Yeah, because it just you blink and you're ready to be done.
It's because I'm yapping.
Sometimes that can happen, and I think you're giving good information. I don't know if yapping means talking, but
talking a lot. Okay.
It looks really good.
Thank you. This is the last one.
Yeah, I love the way freeform peyote looks when you have a big contrast so that you can really see how the work kind of looks almost like lichen.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's snug in there now. So since I feel like I'm done with this now, at least until I want to come back up and do more, I might actually not fasten off yet. I'm going to just hold my needle aside. And then this part is ultra satisfying, and I'm not at risk of cutting it, so it'll be fine. I'm going to get my scissors out. I know y'all been waiting for this, so I'm going to let you have it. Cut the felt off.
Wow, you're going close.
Yeah, you have to go close.
I would be afraid of cutting my stitches.
The stitches are all underneath the beads.
Karen says this hour went by very fast.
I know we haven't
Melanie
even done our
says
sale yet.
Looks amazing. I think I may try this. Well, I talked for about 7 or 8 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. So this was less than an hour. I mean, you guys saw she did not glue it on screen. So maybe consider about
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
10 minutes to glue. And then Connie says, Azalea, that would be a great class at the Emporium.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Perfect.
I didn't even think of it, but yes, you know what, that would be. And you would get that if you got that afterward, because then you could make that into a brooch if you were not very creative, and you just wanted to wear it right now.
Yeah, you could put a pin right
just
here.
Glue that pin or stitch it on there.
And then stitch a pin down. And then you can pin this, like if you have a buttoned up shirt that feels boring, just pin it on the front.
Right at the neck.
And then you can even now, since these beads are here, then you could easily add a little dangle.
Mm-hmm. Or you can bead around the edge and cover up that
this
felt.
is just a nice centerpiece, because then you can do like I could get these out.
Mm-hmm. Do whatever you feel like.
I could get the blue out, and then I could do I could either do picots, or I could do a row, like a surface peyote. So I would go up and over and in and out beads that are already in here, not going out of the step ups, but going out ones that I've already worked through. Do a little ring to decorate it, and then I could what I might do is actually whip stitch with beads the felt edge, so it doesn't feel like a fuzzy raw edge. So then get like big beads. I could even get these.
I would say smaller.
And then go in and whip stitch with beads, big or small, whatever you want. And then go around to kind of you be making a decoration, and then also be sealing in your felt edges. You could go in on the bottom and do fray check around the line of stitches of your baseline if you felt like it, because that'd make it super ultra secure. Or if you don't fray check, you could do the
or you just mount it. It's perfect to stitch down to your bracelet. If you were going to make a bracelet, there is your first component.
So I'm going to leave my thread attached just for now in case I decide to do anything else on this row. I don't think I'm going to add any more I don't think it needs to be secured anymore, because I only have to do one row of 15 O's, but I think little picots might be cute unless those stick out too far. But that's it. There you go.
Perfect.
It's very fun to do.
Yeah, leave it there so you can see the look. Let me hold it for a second and see if I can change the color with my palm. Okay, now move your stuff out of the way, because we're going to do a little bit. I don't know how much time we'll spend on this, but a few minutes, I think. See. Okay. Yeah, that was a very good tutorial. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Melanie says, stitch it to leather.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Deb says, absolutely great work and wonderful teacher.
Oh, thanks.
That's good. That's great news. That'd be fun if you taught a bead embroidery class. Oh, that makes me think. We're having a get together with Sarah from Softflex. That's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys, if nobody, I figure doing a bead weaving thing would be super duper basic. But if you guys wanted to see it, I can probably set up something like this at some point for another demo. This is one that I'm just
maybe on Wednesday we can finish it out with one of our
nylon edges, and then it's going to be one of those wide bracelets. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to go to about probably to the end, and then thinking about tapering it off and I added extra cord so I can do one of those finishes. That's like, where's that one bracelet, that one ribbon one that you had? Well, anyway, one of those bracelets that's easy to pull with a fancy little knot, But I'll have to figure that out before I try to show anybody else how to do it. Here, get out of the way.
I was not making this hot pink.
It might be too protected by beads and felt. But that needle's still attached, so...
Nancy says, will we be able to watch a replay? Yep, they save all of them, right? It's automatically saved on YouTube.
Yeah, our stuff should be saved. I can usually go back and look at stuff.
My hands aren't hot enough. Now because if you get it really hot.
You might have, because earlier I got it to change color, but I had it on the base.
Maybe
so
the bottom
felt might be protecting it from that.
Well, the part that is heat sensitive, the most heat sensitive is the bottom, but it still reacts to any kind of warmth. They call it thermotropic. I bought this kind of paint. Maybe we should do a thing of showing how to use that kind of paint, because you're supposed to you add a layer to like the back of a crystal. So we'll see. All right, let's do some of these lots. Let's get some of these. We'll see if you guys like it. And then we'll announce some of the winners. Okie dokie. Let's see what's the first thing. So like I said earlier, these all have old prices. I'm going to put them in here. Here we go. First one I just grabbed. Yes, on YouTube. Pamela says, Azalea, what cord are you using at the edges of that weaved bracelet? Here, pass it and I'll show what it is. Yeah, that thick cord you were using. Mandala Crafts.
It's just thin nylon. It's on I didn't look for it for the particular brand. I just wanted something a light color and relatively
1.5
thin.
millimeters, and yeah, it comes in different colors. And if this is nylon, you can dye it. That's the fun part about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can dye it in the microwave. You just do it carefully. Okay, this is sterling. And it's like this kind of thing. You have to get it just right. But that's good because you don't want it just falling off your neck. So the little arm, turn it this way, kind of wiggle, and that. See, it has a little square, kind of like an elbow right there. That keeps it from just coming off easily. And that's like the most dirt cheap price you're going to see anywhere. I'm clearing this out. So lot 570. That's old prices. See, all this was paid for. I didn't raise them. Isn't that nice of me?
Yeah.
Okay, that is nice of me. Okay, there's one of them. So what you do, if you've ever bought before with us, just go ahead and put your thing in the comments section, and we will send you an invoice. If you don't see an invoice, check your spam. Go look at that spam beforehand. Okay, I got another thing here. Wow, y'all. Listen, there's one of these. It's $20. That thing is getting away from me. $4.09. That Little Mermaid. Never before are you going to see that price again. And that's because I bought this silver. I bought it like last year. So we bulk bought. I guess I could have sold it at the coin shop. But, the thing is that's so much labor cutting and polishing it. So anyway, we're going to get through this real quick. 26 on this. That's a little, that's a good, this is when you're going to get your value right now, you guys. This is like good times because silver went back up to 86. But I don't want to melt my stuff down. So these were already, I look at it like this. I was happy with that price 4 months ago, and I'm not buying silver until, I don't know when I'm going to buy it again. I just want to move these. Okay, so I have a few of these. Let's see what it is. What is this? How many do I have? Looks like I have 3 of these. Wow, we have a markdown. I don't know about that. But okay, we'll do 50 on it since I wrote it. And we were like, we're not changing prices. That's a good amount of silver right there, my friends. $5.49, I have 3. And that's probably the last time you'll see it at that because I don't know what the world's going to do next. Neither does anybody else, I guess. So that's 50. $5.49. That's probably the cheapest that's ever going to be again, unless something awesome happens and the price changes. Okay, let me see, what else do I have? This is a little pearl scale goldfish. This is my fish Popo. Exactly what he looked like. Such a beauty. $38. What? I know. Can you even picture that? $5.67 on that. Look at that. It's a solid silver right there. Solid and detailed all the way around. Look at that little fatty. Isn't he perfect? I love him. Okay. I see these frogs. Where's the other one? Got a little handful of these frogs. Oh, I know what these are from. You know what? I had a custom order. I think I accidentally deleted the email, so I couldn't figure out who it was. Where are these little frogs? Where's the price for this?
It wasn't
I
with
don't
us?
see it.
I know I priced everything tonight, so it's going to be in here somewhere. Oh.
Those are adorable.
Sorry, guys. The rummaging.
Okay, in the meantime, while you're rooting around looking for it.
I don't see it in here. Maybe it got skipped by accident.
Okay, there's only one of this. And that seems high, but guess what? If we had that at the price now, you would be like, I don't know what to think. So this is 60, but look look how thick it is. Just go ahead and take a gander at that thickness.
The thickness.
Mm-hmm.
That is
$6.28. Old silver prices. We need to clear it out. We had the plumber in. This is good news. And actually, I don't know if it's good news. So we've been step by step slowly working on the kitchen, because you kind of have to do your own thing. I've been clearing out some of the countertops so we can get ready to do. I want to do it all at once when I have to do the ripping out the countertops and everything. Look at this little bumble frame. Can you even believe how cute that is? I have a big one in pewter. This is $6.29. It's $30 sterling. Check it out. He's detailed all the way around. Isn't that adorable? Put that right there.
The tiny bumble frame.
Mm-hmm. It's cute. You didn't see that thing for the frogs?
No, I could not find it. I thought I did it, and I guess I didn't.
Okay, so this one, 26 for this little rose. What? That's like free. Okay, $5.64. How many are there? 3 of these in there? I don't think there are.
I thought I changed all the prices. Really?
Oh no, there's 3 of them in there. There's 3 of them. Look at that. Yeah, come on, that's good. I'm clearing the decks here. We're getting rid of some things so we can go and get metal to buy more stuff. Isn't that the way it goes? You can hear all that rummaging. Oh, there's one of these. Okay, so there's one sterling Luna moth. Look at that, 54 for that big piece. $5.69. And this one is like a 2 for 1, depending on the kind of how you're feeling. Do you want everyone to know you've got a fairy? You wear her out. If you want to keep it secret, you wear her in. Arlene says 2 baby frogs. I got to hunt for the thing. Where is it? Azalea hunted. Okay, wait and figure it. Then figure it. Okay, I've got this.
I need a calculator and a scale and
I have a cherry blossom clasp. $6.30. It's $38. Beautiful. Okay, I don't need all of those in there. Arlene would like 2 frogs, so just give them a little. All right, where's the?
I mean, I go through the comment section anyway after the live stream to do giveaways and to write down people, so I'll get her down for that. And since they're so itty bitty, it's not going to be anything crazy.
Okay, this stick, it's heavy duty, a lot of silver in here, a lot. 64. I know that sounds like crazy town, but guess what? If it was with the 82 right now, wow, because this is at
just
40.
To buy what we would melt down.
Yeah, because that's just the price when they say the spot price. That's just how much we have to pay to go get the silver to melt it. So that's not including labor. So that's so good. They'll never be that cheap unless silver goes back down to 40 something an ounce.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I was asking Dad, I carved that big old crown for that doll, and I wanted it to be in silver. And I remember being like, "Would it be super expensive to make it?" And he was like, "Nah, it wouldn't be too crazy."
Oh, here it is. Duh.
That was a while ago.
Okay, that's 14. That's pretty much the cheapest. So those little frogs, yeah, I have 4 of them sitting right there. Okay, do I have any more silver? This 1 anchor type bead or clasp, 38, $6.27. Nice and thick, sturdily done. And remember, when you're putting these on, even with pewter or bronze, whatever, make this connection stiff. Don't make it loosey-goosey. Like put your thread through there or your cord and give it a snug connection. It works better that way. Jeanette says, I'm interested in a baby frog. All right, then. All right. Okay, we have some Shibuichi. I'm going to see how much of this stuff I can do. Then we'll continue on with this on Wednesday. I have a little Shibuichi, one of my newest carvings. I have one. She's 30. Shibu, if you remember, is copper and silver alloyed together. That means it's melted together, so you get a new type of metal. And the coloring that you're seeing, that burgundy dark, is through the application of heat and buffing. So it gets that kind of color. When it's in its natural color, this is the natural color of the Shibuichi, it's kind of a rosy pinkish color. This is the gua sha while I have it out. So I have 3 of these. This is one of my most favorite things that I've ever made. This is, if you've ever looked into gua sha as a beauty tool, I use this as a fascia, like the connective tissue in your arms and your face and everywhere. I use it to kind of break up that fascia like this. This is a good pressure point. Like you can use that to kind of dig in there, like say like this. But mostly I'll have it in my pocket and I'll do this as like a stress reliever. But really where I like to do this is this side with a little bit of coconut oil on my face before I use it twice a day on my face and on my neck. And you just follow the curvature of your muscles. And I feel like, I don't know, it gets rid of a lot of like wrinkles, I think. I should just show myself using it, but get like Azalea's head in there. Okay, so I'm gonna have to raise the price when this batch is gone. So I have 3 left. And they'll have to go up because the price of silver went up. So this is $5.48. If you've been eyeballing it, this is the time, because they're probably not going to be this cheap ever again. So, yeah. And I have 3 of those. All right, what else do I have over here? What else? Oh, Julie says, oh, yes, I love mine. It's, I have one right in my pocket right now. It's one of my prized carvings because it's so useful. It's beautiful and useful. All right, we got a little bronze mermaid here. 50 on that. $6.36. Nancy said, it's the price of a good facial. I would, you know what? It is, because I go to a gal whenever I'm in San Francisco. I like to go to this place called, I'm really forgetting the name of it.
You haven't been to San Francisco in a minute.
I haven't been to San Francisco in a minute. But anyway, the gal that does my facials, her name's Athena. I was telling her I have one, but I didn't have any more. And I didn't want to give her mine. And I showed it to her, and she was like, I totally want them. And she wants to use them in hers. But I just remembered that, and I have not gotten back to her on that subject. So they won't be that price anymore after this batch. But she wanted to sell them in her store, and I could not, it was kind of like, I don't know if I want to wholesale, because each one of these, I have to go in and carve it and do all the work of making that sort of perfect, because they don't come out of the mold exactly perfect. Karen says, I love mine too. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Kate has one, and my friend Jess and my friend Diane, they have one. And Kate's like, I feel like I look 10 years younger. I worked on her neck and her head. Like, it's one for me. If I get a stress headache, then I use it on my neck. This one is, why am I covering up the piece? Goofy. It's a big bronze mermaid. Isn't she lovely? Okay, so is that a 5? Or is that supposed to be a 5? Or that's a 6, right? 631.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's this.
Oh, beautiful. Wow, you got that done fast.
Picot's a 5.
So look at this little picot action she did to finish that out. Isn't that so charming?
It covered up a good bit of the stone. So I'm
well,
not really
you can kind of
sure.
see. I mean,
well, you know what? If you wanted to, since I didn't put them down, like I didn't glue them, you could even have them open picots, like where they could be like a blooming flower. You could have them sit up instead of flat.
Okay, so the Luna Moth is 54 at $5.69. Yeah, that's kind of weird. This one is being $150 for this one. That's kind of, that price seems kind of strange. You know, look at that one. So how can that be like the same price as
Maybe I
this?
mixed up my tags, because I do make the tags in like a row.
All right, I'm going to I have a few more things, but we're already running at 1:20 as far as time. So I'm going to start wrapping it up. All right, so like this one, look, 5:48. This is, I'm going to get these more tidied out on the screen so you guys can screenshot this for your own particular use. Okay, so that cherry blossom, let's see. Does that look like they're all tidy? Yeah, there they go. All right, that looks like everything. Can you all see that? That looks pretty good. All right. Melanie says Baba Yaga. No, Melanie, gosh, I need to just, you don't want to make one in polymer and send it to you, and then like as a stamp.
You haven't pressed coins in
I haven't
months
pressed
and months and months.
Like months is being generous. It's probably been a year. But then my source, remember you guys, my source dried up, so I have to try new clay, and that's always, for me, it's kind of hardcore. So what we'll do is we'll continue on with this. Let's see. I have some more of these. Some of these like old school. This is like when we were first doing bead blends with those really teeny beads that were really cute, perfect for. Let me just show this. Isn't that pretty? So yes, we'll see that soon. I'm gonna have some of these. There was a bunch of them. So some of these, like I pulled for myself, I'm going to put out. So right now, I think I'm going to take a pause. We have enough on the table right now, and we will show some more on our Wednesday. Is there Wabi Sabi Day? Wabi Sabi Day? Isn't every day a Wabi Sabi Day? Deb says, I love my Alfred cat that I got from you. Oh, good. That sounds good. All right. Yeah, you know, the polymer clay, I was doing these, what am I trying to say? I had it out earlier. And, oh, where is it? I have my kit out, and I was getting ready to make some more like a mold. I call it a stamp. And I was fixing to do that, but I didn't get around to finishing all that extra. So I will show that maybe some of that next week or on Wednesday, I mean. So Melanie says, I'll take it in bronze, silver, Shibu, or just a silicone mold. There's no silicone mold. That's the problem, is there's only the reason, Melanie, there's an issue is because the only mold that exists of that is made out of polymer clay. Now you guys see the problem. It's a clay mold. So it has a shelf life of how many things I can get out of it. And also, I just have to get some I don't know. I have bronze clay. I just ordered it. And when I say I just ordered it, I probably ordered it like 4 months ago. I just haven't gotten a chance to get it out and play with it. It felt a tiny bit stiff. All right, I'm going to switch this. I might just recarve it, because you're not the only one, Melanie. I've had several people ask me about it. So it might be time to just do a new version. Oh, you know, sometimes camo has to be different. All right, here we go. Almost. This cat's he's resting. Karen says, you two should do a Zoom class for the resin. Oh, you guys want to see some resin action for the calves? That would be fun. Let's see how many minutes it takes. Let's see how. Oh. You want in on that? Okay, let's bring you a little bit closer. He's watching me. This cat is so, you see how fast I just picked the thing up, this little packet of churu, and he's ready and awake from a deep sleep. What are you thinking about? It's like something is over there that he always looks at. Honey? Oh, Melanie, don't forget to announce the winners. Azalea. She's left the room. I think she went into the bathroom. He's eating like he has gone crazy. Like I have never fed him. That's what he's acting like. Okay, so when we're picking winners, what we do is we go through the comments section, and then we have a number generator on her phone that we type in the amount of numbers from the comments, count all the comments, and then put in the number generator, and then that's how. So we'll see when she comes out of the bathroom or wherever she went. She disappeared a few minutes ago. Let's see if I can get her to come out. She's stressing me out. Oh, Shannon says the Magic Garden Lucky Dip beads are really beautiful. I had fun sorting. You know, I have a little bit of extra, so what I might do is, hey, can you go get Azalea? Because she disappeared a few minutes ago. She has to give us the names. The names. And while we're waiting on her, Thursday, March 26th at 1 p.m., that's Eastern time. Oh, you missed some on the top of that, honey. We will be getting together. So it's 10 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. So we're going to be doing we're going to have a combined mode with Softflex. So you guys should tune in on that day, and that'll be a lot of fun. And what'd she say? Is she in the bathroom or something?
I think she might be coming back, yeah.
Arlene says, yummy kitty treats. Yeah, he's a big fan. I know. Sorry, guys. I'm waiting for Azalea to come out. She had all that stuff written down. If not, that's like what we have been doing. Occasionally, I like to throw something like a little free inside for my customers. So if you've noticed that, you don't have to send it back. Sometimes we had a couple people send it back to us. It's not a mistake.
I know, like 6 people in this chat tonight have gotten some of my giveaways recently, where I put a little something in their package. So we haven't been skipping the giveaways. I've just not been going and picking from the comment section because, to be honest with you guys, our comment section picking.
Like, listen, sometimes
Okay, well, I just
see.
took off my bra and put on my comfort shirt, took down my hair.
She got comfortable.
Okay. So
snuggling him.
Yeah, this is good. But when we have a lot of the same people every night that I love. I love that you guys show up for us, but then it starts to get kind of unfair whenever I go and count through the comment section, because yes, you guys are the ones that are commenting, but like, sometimes when I count it up, I'm gonna be completely so openly honest, I have gotten Wendy like 4 times back to back.
Oh yeah,
she comments. She's such a trooper with the comment section. So I keep getting her, and I'm like, okay.
Well, Clem was the last time.
You don't want to have every single week be like, okay, our giveaway winner is Wendy. Our giveaway winner, because I don't want to pick the same.
Well, okay, I didn't know that. So
that's just what happens when I count it. So sometimes I just go through when I'm filling orders, and it doesn't. I don't even look at who's on the package. I just put a freebie in it. That's usually what I do. Well,
that's nice of you.
So I did not pick anybody this time because, I did. You know what happened? I counted back up, and it was Wendy again.
And then tonight Wendy's not even here.
Wendy's not even here tonight. So
I did have a little bundle for Wendy. So you know what? It is. If you're wondering why I bother with the comments, I'll tell you. It does raise our visibility in the algorithm. So it is worth it to us to pick from and to reward our customers. So yeah, anyone know I feel a little bit on the spot, but not in a bad way. Just so you guys are aware. We do like to be generous with our gifts. So we will do something else
Sorry.
something different
I
on Wednesday.
toss in random stuff in people's packages all the
Yes,
time.
I know. I've seen that. I know. And sent me a little text the other day of what she liked. I think you put in something there, if I'm not mistaken. I got a little note. All right, my friends, we will be continuing. I have a large array of some of these kits that I put together before we did Lucky Dip, and some of them I found them in a box. So what we're going to do is have some of those. I'm going to mark them down, and we're trying to make space and also to make money. We need to get this kitchen worked on, and we've been slowly but surely plugging away. We had the plumbers in last week, and we have a little bit of excavation to do. I'm not looking forward to that. But, it's step by step, every little bit. All right, my friends, we will continue on with our journey on Wednesday. All right, my friends, we will see you on Wednesday. We love you out there, and I hope that you have a